everyone. My name is Amanda Miller, and I'm with My Word Publishing. And today I am joined by the lovely, newly published author, Bernadette Richards, along with Shelley Wilhelm, our creative director. Give us a wave, Shelley. Awesome. Well, today we are celebrating the new release of The Dog Dream. Hold it up if you have it. This is such a beautiful, stunning book. It is all about Princess Ruby of Padstow, who is cursed by an evil witch. It's a really fun and humorous fairy tale. And so, Bernadette, I want to kind of swing it over to you and ask you to tell us a little bit about how this book has evolved and a little bit about the journey of getting it to here.
Well, so it's a bit of a twist on a standard fairy tale of Sleeping Beauty. With my daughter, I read to her every night, and I would read these fairy tales and fairly disenchanted by the standard rote, a romantic prince comes in and rescues you and sweeps you off your feet. It hasn't been my experience in my life, and I really wanted a story that would show my daughter that that isn't necessary, that a romantic prince doesn't have to come galloping in and rescue you. And we do happen to be a family of dog lovers, and nothing's better than the love of a dog. So I figured we'd pluck out the romantic prince and pop in a very lovable dog. And so that is how we ended up with Prince the dog that comes in and rescues the princess.
Oh, this is just so wonderful. And when I got to the end of the story where the dog really comes into shine, I'm a dog lover myself. I just thought of the ones I love, and I just really connected to this story. You really pulled it off.
It was so funny because I read the book to some children over at the local elementary school, and there's some humor in it where the prince that's there, Prince Aldous, isn't particularly heroic, and so we kind of discuss his lack of heroism in the book, but when we got to the dog part, all the children's faces lit up, and they were all start chattering about their own dogs and how much they love them. And I thought, really, isn't that it? Love is about sort of like the fairy godmother loving Princess Ruby, the king and the queen loving Princess Ruby loving her dog, and her dog loving her. Love isn't always romantic. It's very precious, in all forms. And I think it's important that children see that,
Yes, so well said.
And I think it's the thing that I liked about the book was, well, I liked a lot of things about the book, but the first time I read it and the twist of the dog, I was like, oh, that's so cute, and that's how much I think there's so much identification for kids with this story. So I think I've read a lot of fairy tale twists, and I think yours made me laugh out loud, and I felt like it was super unusual. And then in addition to that, not only do we have Prince that is totally unexpected until we meet him, you do have the funny little things about the real prince being not very heroic and not really living up to what he said he could do, and yet the dog prince totally does. So I think you captured it. I think it was broad appeal, and you captured it in a really great way.
Thanks, Shelley. I mean, the little dog, my grandmother actually had that little dog when I was a young girl. She had a black wire Cairn Terrier who I loved that little dog. And so I had a very sort of non-glamorous looking dog as the prince, and so that was a personal thing to have that particular dog. And also, like, all the places in the book, are very much places that I visited in England. So my sister and I hiked. It was a 5-mile hike along the cliffs, and it was very hot, but we went up to this particular folly, and it does look actually exactly like that. Took our photographs outside while seagulls were swooping around our heads. So it's all very based in reality, even though it's a fairy story.
Yeah, and the illustrations are just stunning. So the illustrations are done by Frances A. Ross, and I think when we landed on her, we're like, this is the one. So tell us about, how did we decide on the illustrator, and why was she like such a great fit for your story?
I mean, she really did capture the humor of the story, and her style is it's whimsical, but it's quite modern. You know, she's managed to sort of work with both and appeal to children. It's very sort of colorful and fun, and lots of tiny details. When children are reading, they kind of glance over at all the different details, but you can see the humor in it with the fairy godmother, you know. And so it's lovely. It's appealing to, honestly, if an adult is reading the story to their child, that, you know, they would see it, but the child could be sitting there looking at the eyeballs, looking at you as you're in your little dream world coming down the stairs, and their hands grasping at the princess. So it's so much detail, and it is appealing to children and also to the adult that has the joy of reading this, right?
So I think that one of the things I appreciate about the finished book, and it was truly a collaboration on everybody's part.
Yeah.
But one of the things that I appreciate is that Frances was just edgy enough that she appeals to kids who are a little bit older. And that's why you're talking about the parent appeal or the adult reader appeal. It's a little bit older than you would think of than the natural 6 to 7 or 8 year old reading target that you thought you were writing for until you actually put everything together. And one of the things I love about being the creative director is so fun for me is when we can take an author's idea, and she has a great story, and find an illustrator who can bring their own interpretation and talent to it and then just build on it. And I think actually that The Dog Prince is a perfect example of that. It works so well. And all the little details that everybody brought into it, like how is every chapter going to start? Excuse me. And I think that it's just a very good example of that collaborative process that just continues to build on everybody's creativity and talent.
It was so much fun, wasn't it? It was so much fun. Everybody sort of looking at it and, you know, playing with it and just seeing what it could become, you know, sort of see it sort of grow and develop over the course of the last year, you know. And it definitely is an end result, is a team effort to get it to look so beautiful and to be so concise. I'm very happy with it, you know.
Yeah, I you know, I'm going to jump in and just say I do have to commend you on just the amount of collaboration and openness to everyone's ideas on your part, you know. And as an author, I think you really appreciated the collaboration as well. And I really just elevated. You had an amazing story to begin with, and then I just, you know, I think the whole team were just so proud of you and the book that you produced. So thank you so much, Bernadette. The Dog Dream, available on Amazon.
Dog Dream. You want this? This is good.
So yes, get it on Amazon. And again, Bernadette, thank you for the time, the commitment that it takes to go publish your book and take it through all the steps. You did a fabulous job.
Thank you so much, lovely. Thank you.
Congratulations.
Thank you.